So you talk to your boss's friend, you go to a meeting. How was that first high school meeting? Because there was no Zooms and stuff back in them days. How
Oh
was that
no, no.
first walking into a group of, a bunch of old men probably?
Yep, yeah, a bunch of old guys that we used to meet at a church, and
They cussing at the church.
they was cussing in the back of the church. Yeah, so you just go in and find out. In Houston, basically, they block everybody off into groups, like what part of town you live in. So that's how you get your assignments. And I learned pretty quick that the more things that you would do for that assigner, the more assignments you would get and the bigger assignments you would get. So I kind of grabbed onto that early on. So I mean, I did a lot of games early on to the point where I think my first year, I you paid $1 for every assignment you got, right? And my first year, I gave back the assignment like $132. So that meant I had 132 assignments.
Ooh,
So
ooh,
because they counted Peewees too.
yeah.
So
Right,
Ooh.
right.
yeah,
That's getting some snaps in, people. I mean,
yeah, yeah,
he was mastering his craft early.
yeah.
Were you in your work right now that you're doing now? Was your career already going, or was
Yeah.
how did you have that flexibility that you was able to work
At,
that many assignments?
Luckily, it was weird because at the time I worked for Prudential. Prudential had a office here in Houston or in Sugar Land where I lived, and they had a weird flexible schedule where I got off at 3:30.
Okay.
So when I got off at 3:30, I could immediately go to the middle schools and do middle school games. And so I would do 2 or 3 middle school games after. And then on Friday, I would go do chains because you couldn't, or at the time, you couldn't just do varsity. You had to work your way up to varsity. So I would do chains on varsity for the first couple of years. And then I got to be a six man, which six man is a guy who kind of tags along with the crew in case somebody gets hurt or whatever. You go in the game
Uh,
and you would get varsity points at that point in time. So
So you was awesome.
So you were getting varsity points, you said, so like the where you can qualify for varsity games in the future?
yeah, well, no, okay. At the time, it was set up so that there was set up for divisions in the state of Texas. So you had Division 1, which was the top. You were considered a top official if you were Division 1, and Division 5. And so you got 1 point for a varsity game, and then as it went down, like JV, you got half a point, and for let's say at the time Peewees, you get half a point. So that's why I did a bunch of games, and so
Okay, them
I
half points
accumulated a bunch of
added
points.
up.
I went from Division 5 to Division 3 real.
Whoa.
Yeah, so those half points added up.
When you're that alternate, do you get a little taste of a check, a little $20 here and there, or you just there for
It's about the
points?
experience, Monty. We only talk about the money. We ain't talking about the money. Ain't you think you gonna come on? Ain't nobody gonna get hurt to let you get a check, Monty.
Right, but they might give everybody might get like $10, $20.
Ain't
No,
nobody on put on how did you this Texas high school, Monty. Ain't nobody
Yeah, it's
coming off
Texas high
the
school.
Right.
well they
Yeah,
They
so
at least let you go to the snack
yeah.
bar at halftime, get a drink and a hot dog.
they always could probably kept saying, maybe this next week.
So I know a big thing in Texas football is getting onto a crew in high school. How many years in before you got onto a crew in high school?
um, probably 5. I got in at 5. I
Okay.
got in with this. I got in actually. I got in with this old guy who he wanted to start a crew, and so I just jumped on it. Right, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna be on his crew, and it was a bad experience. It was good because I got to do varsity, but it was just a bad experience.